thought. It looks like we are going live. I'm gonna go out to Love City Facebook page and confirm that we're out here in these streets with Dr. Kelly Johnson. Let's see if it put us into where we want to be tonight. I'm gonna keep refreshing. I'm seeing wonderful streaming energy happening over on Facebook. Also on my my other Facebook. It's also happening on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Periscope as we speak, because why just talk about it, Dr. Kelly, when you could be about it? See, you can hear it happening over there, can't you?
I'm trying. Hold on.
It's good. I'm gonna mute you while you work that out. And then I'm gonna go over and do the exact same thing that Dr. Kelly Johnson is doing. Thank you, everybody who's loading in and joining us. We are so grateful to have you in the city of love, Love City. Every Wednesday night, I'm going over to my personal page and just sharing out this love. We are live now with 2 viewers, it looks like, already on Facebook, both the Love City Arts page. Now we're going out on Dr. Kelly Johnson's platforms, in addition to YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. We are just so grateful. I wanted to invite everybody that is coming into the space to hang out with us, and I'm going to pull up our chat flow over here so I can see as people talk to us and share their love. I'll be throwing that into the conversation a little bit. It is a Wednesday night. So what does that mean? We're here with 4 viewers, Dr. Kelly Johnson, to be grateful. There's so much going on in the world. There's so much chaos, and there's so much disappointment, and there's so much pain. But then we've got so much to be grateful for as well, and cool kid friends like Dr. Kelly Johnson. Okay, my friend of now. Should I call it? You want me? Should I name the number?
That's fine. They know what great skin regimen looks like.
That's it. When we say black don't crack, we mean it. Like, I want y'all to stay tuned for the next 20 years, because Lord willing and the creek don't rise, you're going to show up in 20 years and we're going to look just the same, because when you give love, you get love.
Yes.
And sometimes that manifests on your face. We are joined this week by the fabulous and talented and oh so smart Black girl magic personified.
Oh, nice.
I'm not being nice. You got the receipts. I watched this shit play out on Facebook. That's where I watched your whole, I've not seen your ass and talked face eyeball to eyeball since 1952. These are the facts. We have not seen each other since Methuselah was alive, child.
Yes.
And yet, I've watched you grow as a woman. I've watched you grow as a mom. I've watched you grow in and out of romantic relationship, which we can get to later if that's not a tulip moment. And then, okay, we can talk about it. I've watched you get terminal degrees, ladies and gentlemen, terminal degree, and just like caps and gowns and stockings and shit, like just brilliance. And we're gonna talk about that too in the next hour. I've watched all this happen through the lens of Facebook, and it brings me joy tonight to be with you, because you are a person who I giggled with in dorm room lobbies, and in the common areas, because we dare not go into the sacred chambers on the campus where Christ is kicked.
I still have my degree hanging up.
Yes, Lord. You earn, you deserve. But look, we would go into the common areas of that housing, right? Because we weren't allowed in the girls' room. Everybody, though, in my life knew that nothing in those girls' rooms for me anyway. But we just played along.
Let you in anyway.
Y'all just let me in anyway. So I would go in there, and now Dr. Kelly Johnson, we would see strange, nefarious things happening behind the dorm, and we would call the Cleveland police. Now in 2020, I ain't calling nobody's police.
Oh no.
But in 2002, 2003, and 2004, we were calling saying, There's some strange, hello.
There's some strange activity across the street.
Well, we would prep each other, like, okay, make sure you use that voice now, because they're gonna take it seriously if you don't. We had so many good times. Anyway,
Yes.
I'm gonna stop talking now because nobody. Well, no, actually, I need to back up. I got so excited I was gonna like launch right into the interview, but I forgot that. Huh?
It's fine.
Every week when we come into this space, I always invite us who are gathered, because it's always a specific people. You got Kendra Simmons out there saying yes, the receipts. You got Clark Brewer saying Kelly. You got Kendra laughing along in the comments. So grateful to have you. If you will do me a favor for the next 2 or 3 minutes and just woo woo with me, I promise your soul salvation will still be intact. If you just take a moment to just breathe with Dr. Kelly Johnson and I, just take a moment. Maybe over the last 7 days, you've not breathed. Somehow you've managed to just vampire your way through in this very spooky, or so they say, spooky season. And so if you've been a vampire for the last 7 days and you've forgotten to breathe, I want to invite you into this loving space. And I want to invite you to breathe. This is the 21st day of October in the midst of a pandemic, a global pandemic. Y'all can play pity pat and hide and go get it all you want. Okay. I know. Okay. We're going to talk about that too in this interview. You said Black excellence is going to be at the table. So hide and go get it is in there too.
Okay.
You can't be excellent and not want to go get it. But anyway, keep breathing, y'all. Keep breathing. We're already off the rails. Yeah. I told Dr. Kelly Johnson that I bought the good Casamigos and mixed it with fruit punch Crystal Light. So it's like a sophisticated hood drink.
Not sophisticated and hood. Juxtaposition.
Oh, you better say juxtaposition to me again with that education. Keep breathing, y'all. Okay, just we can. Okay,
we're gonna behave. We're
gonna behave. Just breathe, y'all. Go grab your drink too. We're not gonna be here forever. Just for the next 45 minutes or an hour or so. Every Wednesday night, I decide to reach out to my cool kid friends, people who I see on Al Gore's internet. At least he claimed it and colonized it like white people do with everything else. And so someone had to say it. Anyway, I gather here because I see the amazing things that my cool friends are doing out in the world, in whole different states, hundreds of miles away. If I reach out to them, I wonder if they will say yes and come on and chat about the goodness. Shuck it. Whew. What they say, it's like fire. Shut up.
That was my bone.
Keep breathing, y'all. Just 1 minute more. Breathe on the fact that we are now 18 minutes past the top of the hour. Wherever you are, we will never be here again. I see you out there, Kendra Simons, laughing. You said, I can't breathe. I'm laughing too hard. Laugh with us, because let me tell you something. If today is
a show.
This is about to be a show, child. Let me see. You got the right one, okay? You got the right ones. Bring your burdens and bring all of your cares in right now. We're going to talk with Dr. Kelly, who went and got some really, really awesome degrees. So she has all of the answers for us. And so hopefully. And so we breathe on that. I'm going to try to change this music and get the vibe just right. I think that feels good. Oh my goodness. We are full, we are safe, and we are enough, even in the midst of this nonsense. Do you know where your ballot is? And yet we still keep breathing because we're full and we're safe and enough. We do this every week. We just chill until the ancestors say, okay, you're still enough to have a full, safe, and complete conversation with a dear, dear friend. So there's nowhere to be. I know that you want to hear from Dr. Kelly. I know you didn't come here to hear me be woo-woo, but we're just going to settle in because I don't know about you. No one taught me how to just chill the fuck out. They didn't. They talked about so many other things, but nobody said like, Trey, you can actually just put on some good music. Sounds like violins and violas and some shit playing. You can put on some like smooth music and just breathe your way through anything and anybody. So we're just going to stay here for 2 minutes more. It's 20 minutes past the hour. I promise I'll shut up at 22. But for 2 minutes, just give it your best shot. I know you want to hear from Dr. Kelly. I see you in the comments. People are gathered to hear from her, but we're just going to, for 2 minutes, just focus on the goodness of what it means to have technology and access to people that love us. Keep breathing on that. On folks who love us, like Dr. Kelly Johnson. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Now, this is a BYO belief space, so if you want to feel the presence of Jesus right now, then cool. If you want to feel the presence of Shaka Khan, even better. Right? Sometimes you just need Shaka. Okay, that's our moment. We're joined this week by the beautiful brown-skinned girl. You know, this ain't light-skinned privilege. This is a dark-skinned girl making it up through the streets of Tennessee, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about childhood Kelly. What was 6, 7-year-old, 8-year-old Kelly like?
Well, my parents, who are still married, have been married for almost 50 years. They had 10 children, so it's 10 of us. 4 boys and 6 girls, so I am number 7.
You're number 7.
I am number 7.
Lucky number 7.
7th child born on the 7th day.
Ooh, let's see. That's getting me in my churchy. If I had an organ, if I just had one saint in the room that wants to talk about how 7 days is all it took.
Born in the 3rd month. They don't know nothing about that.
They don't know nothing about that. Like, because they had to hold our mules.
We're gonna will it in.
What'd you say?
We're gonna will it in.
Listen, if we had time. So yeah, you're the 7th kid. What's it like being in a house full of 7? I'm sorry. How many people are in the house?
Because growing up was all 10 of us in the house at one point in time. Of course, the first 5 got older and they moved out eventually. But however, it gave me a village to depend on. My siblings and I are not as close as we used to be, but we're still pretty close. And I consider them not only my brothers and sisters, but also my friends.
Of course. How do you think that started to shape you as you moved into your adolescence? And then I'm pushing us now into like the 16, 17, 18-year-old. Were you grown at 12 or were you?
Oh no, my parents did not tolerate that. I was a child. I stayed in the child's place. I minded my own business.
And I think for context, people that are going to be listening to this for, in 2056, when you're listening in the time capsule, well, hopefully it's not time. Hopefully we're still here in 2056. But like 300 years from now, y'all need to also know on the audio and video that Kelly is a PK.
Yes, I am. Oh, yes. I am so sorry. I'm a PK.
Very important to note because that colors things. And for those of you who are not who are not Black or don't have any Black friends, welcome. We'll be your Black friends for at least the next hour or so for the moment. And PKs means preacher's kid. And so that's a whole different ball of wax. What did that mean in your house, being part of the shepherd's flock?
Well, PK means being part of a sheltered life. Let me say that. Now, PK kids are probably one of your sneakier kids. And when we were able to, I don't want to say break free, we were able to venture out into the world. It was like, ooh, like a kid at Christmas. Look at that, look at that, look at that.
Look at that. Look, yeah. Were your older siblings coming back telling tales of what adult life was like out in the world, or?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
No, I said were your older siblings coming back and giving you glimpses of the future of what was on the outside?
Yes, they did, and sometimes we tried to sneak on the outside ourselves and things of that nature. So they did.
Okay, cool.
And then there was some times where I saw what my older siblings were doing, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do that."
Yeah, pass me by.
Or
you said what?
This. Or show me that.
Yeah. So cool. Okay, so then now I've brought everyone from out of before she was Dr. Kelly Johnson, she was just Kelly in Tennessee, preacher's kid, coming up through it all, sheltered life. You know, they were very in my house too. The wages of sin were always death. Okay. So don't die in here or today playing around, okay? So that was the kind of energy of my house as well. We were very saved and sanctified and filled, and it's all wonderful. I have so much love in my heart for all of it. So then me wanting to follow after the heart of Jesus at that time in my life, which I still don't think is a bad thing if you actually know what the fuck the heart of Jesus is. And I mean, I weave in between like the profound and the profane in this space, but like I think there are people who actually know what the heart of Jesus is, like what Jesus would have been about, what Jesus was going through, you know, the kind of Jesus that was, you know, washing people's feet, that kind of Jesus. I'm not really sure that I was really even after that Jesus in the early 2000s when I went to Lee. I think I was chasing like, oh, they got amazing music programs. My friends have gone there and traveled all over the world singing with the choirs. Like, that's cool. This could be my like ticket out of RVA, which is code for white people speak for Richmond, Virginia. So,
and a lot of times when you grow up in that atmosphere, especially for a preacher's kid, you think you've seen it all, you think you know it all. And so when you venture out into the world, instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing, you find yourself saying, I already know that. Okay, so what's over here?
Yeah, what's over here? Yeah, so that leads you to we have Kelly and I have so many mutual friends, and one of our mutual friends, Kim Dawkins Wilson, always says, I remember towards the end of our college times when I turned a corner and you were in that dark party, and I was in that dark party, and I said, oh, you know, like life comes at you. You know, you are a church kid out in this really big world trying to experience and taste it all. Okay, so you go to Lee. What were you at Lee for?
When I first, and people are gonna be like, what? When I first entered into Lee, I was actually interested in the criminal justice system. And going in that aspect. And someone always said, well, you should have became a lawyer. And I'm still considering it.
I mean, all things are possible, right?
I'm still considering that. It won't take me long. However, I remember tutoring one weekend with Halisha. I don't know if you remember her.
Yeah, Halisha Pagis, right?
Yes. I really, really enjoyed it. And it just went.
And you just went what?
I'm sorry, my microphone went out. It just went from there.
I see. Wow. Okay, so what is the what did you actually get at Lee?
English education, a BA in
English education. Okay, cool. So
and a minor in business, and of course, we all had a minor in religion.
We all had a minor in religion. Each and every one of us had, like, isn't that wild?
We still know about all 12 disciples.
We know all about them. we know about them. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego too. Okay, try Jesus, don't try me. Anyway, okay, so now this is the moment in the story, and this may be edifying for those who are tuned in right now. Thank you, everybody who's watching Dr. Kelly Johnson on, I think this is like the 8th episode of season 3 of Love City Live. We're picking up where I drifted off. Like I went into the Cracker Barrel to serve tables. I became a townie, and then went on to singing adventures and all of those type of things. And then you, like I guess you were setting out to be an English teacher in the world.
Yes.
Now you got to fill me in now. Like what was happening in the world from that point forward?
When after I graduated, or
yeah, because I don't know anything from this point forward. I only know the bits of what the internet was doing. But
after I graduated, of course, I completed it and finished all my certification for becoming an English teacher, and I started teaching. I actually started teaching at the age of 21.
Wow.
So at the age of 21, I was teaching 11th and 12th grade literature in a school in Georgia.
To kids that were literally like
17 and 18. I remember my first year of teaching, I was asked to prom twice, and I was written up because another teacher thought I was skipping class. I forgot my badge. And I was like, Lord Jesus.
Wait. So you're on the faculty actually teaching the kids, and another teacher comes through and writes you up?
Yeah. She didn't know. I forgot my badge that day. I was just roaming the hall. I was just trying to learn the school. And she thought I was a kid just roaming the hall.
I love it. Love it. Okay. So you're roaming the hall. And then, so you're English teacher in the school. You're clearly, taking to it. You're feeling passionate about it. What made you want to continue towards administration and actually like governing people who are educators?
I think when I actually left the city of Chattanooga for a few years, I had got married, divorced now. Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, yeah, me too. Yeah.
But when I came back, I was teaching at a school in Chattanooga called Howard High School. And it really piqued my interest in engaging in those less fortunate. And of course, although my father, who is a pastor in Chattanooga, he's always served in many communities, especially the underprivileged community, for over 30-something years.
Right, long time.
So I've always been around that atmosphere of serving. And it just sparked my interest. And I said, you know what? I really want to give back. Although I would say that I was, given a pretty great life, I didn't take that for granted. I always wanted to give back.
Yeah. Love it. Okay, so what made you go, I don't want to be a teacher? I mean, maybe you enjoy being a teacher, but now you want to be like an administrator. What made you take that leap? Because that's what you're doing presently, right?
No, I'm still teaching presently. I'm teaching and I'm running 2 businesses.
Oh my good. Okay, so this is important for me to know. So you didn't take the leap. You're like, I'm not going to be the administrator in here. I'm just gonna. I see. So what is your day-to-day looking like now in COVID?
I am teaching. I'm actually teaching virtually. I am teaching in person, and I am operating 2 businesses.
Okay, so let's transition and talk about that.
Give me 1 second.
Of course. It looks like we've got a guest that is emerging.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Take your time. We're just gonna hang out. It looks like Dr. Kelly is not only a teacher, as she just expressed, and one of my 18, 17-year-old friends, but she's also a mommy. So you can rest assured as you watch tonight that somebody is getting in trouble right now. Hey, Tara Nicole Murphy, when do I sleep? I don't sleep. I love. So thank you everybody for watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Periscope on lovecityarts.org.
Sorry about that.
I told the guests while you were away, as sure as I am black, somebody is getting in trouble right now. Somebody should be in the bed right now.
And I'm also a mother of 2 children.
I told them we have full transfer. It's all love in Love City. I said, as sure as my black ass is sitting here, somebody is getting told, if you don't if-then statements. I don't know what they call them. And you know, when you're taking like the SATs, if
Mm-hmm.
you don't do this, then this is going to happen. That's what was going on. Okay, so I'm gonna run down this list here. We've got 3 different parts of this. Well, I mean, 3 of thousands. I mean, there are 10,000 things that are beautiful about Dr. Kelly Johnson, my friend of almost 2 decades now. But over these last years of getting the bachelor's and the master's, and then what's the PhD in?
Organizational leadership, K through 12.
Yeah.
With an emphasis in African American literature.
This is amazing. This is amazing. And so, like, you know, you just blink, and then the people who you love are stepping into their futures. You know, kids to put down to bed, and
if y'all listen to me, don't have any kids right now.
You said don't, like in COVID, like you said, like is that your recommendation?
That's my plug. I'm just playing. I love my babies, and we get time. I tell you about that journey.
I couldn't imagine what that's like. We're gonna get to that in the second piece. So I'm gonna speak to Resounding Minds Ministry first.
Okay.
And then we're gonna move into Dr. Johnson, more about you as a person, so people can get to kind of know you. And that's the mother hat. And then I want to talk about another chapter agency as well. Those 3 pieces. Okay, so let's start with Resounding Minds Ministry. You got some comments going here too. Tara Nicole Murphy's clapping for you. She's asking when I sleep. Never. Mona Craig is laughing out loud about the kids piece. And then Tara, you know Mona?
Yes, you remember Mona? And she just told me to write her a paper.
What? Write her a paper?
Mona, those days are over with.
ain't no papers happening. Look, Dr. Kelly told you she will become a lawyer in her sleep if she feels like it, but she ain't writing no paper, Mona. That's so funny. Okay, so tell me about Resounding Minds Ministries. Like how did that come about? Like what is that?
Okay, so as I said before, I'm a mother of 2. Okay. Actually, I was married at one point in time. Yes. I was married for over 10 years. I have been divorced for about almost 5 years.
Oh, wow. And, okay, so married for 10, divorced for 5. Okay.
Almost 5 years.
Yeah.
And so at that moment when I was filing for divorce, thank God that I have a family that is extremely supportive. My siblings, my parents, my cousins. I have great friends who are extremely supportive. But then I sat back and I thought, you know what, God, I have this, but imagine a woman going through that and they don't have anything. Imagine a woman who has never been married or just her and her kids.
Okay, so so take us back to do you feel safe enough to take us back to that period in your life specifically? Like I mean, not without going into details.
Yeah.
What was it like to be in love?
Let me say this: marriage is a beautiful thing. Just because my marriage didn't work out doesn't mean marriage is horrible. But I'm also a believer that marriage is a business.
Wait. Just I'm gonna put on, if I put on the emergency lights and pull over across the rubble strip off the highway, could we just pause here for a second? And could you just teach the class on how marriage in some healthy structures is structured like a business? We were going down the highway at like 65, and I was like, wait, Kelly, you got wild in the car. You call the marriage a business. I got to pull over.
Marriage is a business, and people say all day long, oh, I'm married for love, and that's great. You probably did, but love don't pay the bills. So marriage is a business when 2 people enter into a contract, because it is a contract. You take these vows, whatever your vows may be. Everybody has a different set of vows. So yes. Who am I to say that the vows that I took in my marriage are a replicate of another person's marriage? That is false. But however, it's a business. And because it's structured like a business, when there are leaks in your foundation, it will crumble.
Wait, I need you to stop. I want you to keep going, but I just need you to pause for a second so we can taste. So I just need to taste and see. Can y'all in the comments let me know if y'all picking up what Dr. Kelly Johnson's putting down or not? She is saying to us tonight, like we didn't have to pay for this. This is for free.
Only my opinion. This is only my opinion.
I know, but it's just so good. It's so good. Chime in the comments or write us later if you think that marriage is a business. And if you don't take care of the foundation of your business, it will get leaky and it will crumble. Yes, Kim Doc as well as said, Kelly coming through with the word.
So I always tell people this that are struggling. Number one, I don't, when people come to me, I tell them, with marital issues, I say, hey, listen, you can do what's best for you. Because at the end of the day, I'm not laying down with that person. You are. I am not in close contact with that person. You are. But however, many people will prepare for the wedding and never prepare for the marriage. Oof. They never prepare for the marriage. So instead of creating a business, because that's exactly what it is, and laying that foundation of that business, of your union, we're so focused on, look at me, I'm getting married, instead of look at me, what happens when I'm married.
What happens when I'm married? Look, as a person who's divorced as well, I completely get what you're putting. I'm completely picking up what you're putting down. I believe that love will happen for me again. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, did y'all see the promo pictures? If you have not seen the promo pictures, just go to our Love City Arts Instagram page and see this piece of sexual chocolate sitting across from me on the screen was giving all the bips, booms, and the bams. So I believe that you will have love again in your life when you're drafting your new contract for your next business. I haven't decided whether I want to go into business or if I want to incorporate, if I wanted to be an LLC, if I want to pull an Oprah and put Stedman behind the house.
Sole proprietorship.
I have not decided
so many
yet.
Choices.
Kelly, I've not decided what the situation is going to be yet. So far, I've got let me not talk about
I ain't saying nothing. let me say this.
Yes, please.
I love the idea of, and it's only an idea, of having a partner who understands, and we have similar, because no one's the same. I wouldn't want to be with someone who's just like me. I'm a bit much sometimes.
Likewise.
We have similar goals, drives, and beliefs as myself. So when we form this business, if there is a leak, we're not just putting a patch on it. We're actually fixing that leak.
We're actually fixing the leak. Okay, we had some comments here, so I'm gonna catch us up here. Tara Nicole Murphy saying yup to everything you're saying. Kim Dacus Wilson's having a whole private church service saying, come on. H. Lamont Watson says, I agree with that. People don't really start marrying for love. He said, people didn't really start marrying for love until the early 90s. Do you agree with that? That people didn't really start marrying for love until the early 90s. What was it before the 90s?
Let me say this. Let me tell you what people do. People often date. Let's take marriage off the table.
Okay.
People often date people for who they want them to become instead of who they really are.
Okay, now see, for those of you who don't speak Tennessee and don't speak South, Dr. Kelly Johnson said, sometimes you date people for who you want them to be, for who you want them to be, child. I love when the Southern Belle comes. She's like, for who people want you to be, child.
Now I'm from the South, but I'm no Southern Belle.
Oh. Okay, let me write down this note because we gotta come back to what that means. Yeah, you're dating people for who you want them to be.
Yep, instead of who they really are. And so instead of accepting them for who they really are, you go into a relationship and you say, oh, I can change that, I can change that, I can change that.
And you find eventually that those things don't change. Like
now it's, oh, I'm not in love no more. They don't move me the same way. They never moved you. You moved yourself. And because you moved yourself, you thought they were moving you. Please and so now you back at square one. It's like, sorry, somebody bumped you back to the beginning.
Please stop reading me like this.
We can move on.
Please get off my toes, please. I'm saying ouch. I promise you I'm saying ouch. Anybody else has deep resonance with what Dr. Kelly Johnson's talking about? Like, it's wild out here when you recognize that, like, you can round them up all you want to, but if they don't want to actually step into that number that you see, let's just say that, like, I mean, I don't like playing this way, but if he's a 5 or if she's a 5 or if they are a 5 and you're like, oh, you know what, like, I see that they're a 5, but I really believe that they're 8. I really believe in their 8 potential
when they're really a 2. But however, I'm gonna bring us back in. That really, made me think about what can I do, and I still didn't act upon it once I, had a divorce. I waited, and then I decided, you know what? I got with a former friend, and I said, you know what? Let's do something to support our women and children. In this city. Women roles are so multifaceted, and we have developed over history who people think we were back then, the domestic partner, come home, cook, clean, or you stay at home, versus now you have women who are a partner, married, boss, mother. They wear so many hats. And I hate to say this, it's not knocking men. Most women outlive men. So because of that, I wanted to create a program that we support our women and we teach them through 4 different ways. Resounding Minds was built to help women and children holistically. And we're still targeting the importance of family unit. Let me say this, let me clear this up. I am not one of those women who say, I don't need a man. That is false.
Neither am I.
However, a man to me should complement me and not complete me, because God already made me complete. So when you come into my space, you're complimenting what I already have going on, and I'm complimenting you because you should already be complete. So when I decided to do Resounding Minds, I wanted to advocate for women and children physically, financially, spiritually, and mentally. From the physical aspect, of course, we have food boxes. I remember the pandemic started.
So back up. When did Resounding Minds? Give me a timetable. Did it start in the pandemic?
No, it's actually started last June.
Okay, last June. Great.
June.
So keep going. Great.
And then when the pandemic happened, it really picked up. They closed school immediately, and I work in the schools that many of my children go without. And I said, okay, no, I can't imagine. Some of my children didn't even want to go home because they knew, okay, who are going to feed me? So I started with just the necessities that a person may need.
We say necessities, what, like toothpaste and
deodorant, especially food. We fed lunches. And let me say this, when I say me, I don't mean me. I have incredible people, my unit. I have Clark, I had Leslie, I had Dee, I had Diane, I had one of my former assistant principals came from Memphis and even helped me.
Wow.
So when I say that there are people in the city of Chattanooga that loves to give and loves to help and love to donate, and I don't want to start naming people because I'll forget people.
Of course.
But we started serving over 200 lunches a day. And then we started handing out food boxes. Now, we are still currently providing food boxes up until now. Matter of fact, I have a great support system. And this person is coming from out of town, shopping and delivering.
Wow, the food to people who are hungry today.
Now, although I target women and children, when it comes to the food aspect, I just feed families. Because people are struggling now.
What's your thought about that? Is your thought that when the women and kids are fed, then of course the fathers are fed as well? Or are you just trying to like keep it just as open as you possibly can?
As far as feeding, I just look at it as far as just family unit. You know.
Yeah,
we need to take care, especially our elderly people. We have an influx of calls coming from our elderly community, and not only do we feed our elderly community, if they are in need of medicine, we provide that.
Tell me a little bit about that. What do those calls look like when people are calling? How old are they, and what are they going through?
The oldest person that I've helped, she is currently 90.
Wow.
And I check on her all the time. Of course, I'm going to keep the name confidential.
Of course.
Client protection.
Yes.
But
we love Betty.
Yeah, we call her Betty. She is so sweet.
Yeah.
Of course, she's elderly, and we check on her, and we provide medicine for her, and we straighten up around the house if needed.
Mm-hmm.
We just do whatever we can to make life easier. I have another client. She actually lost her husband a month ago. And one thing I love about Resounding Minds is that we try to target these 4 things: physically, financially, and spiritually, and mentally. We have an excellent mental health coach by a guy named Clark Brewer. He comes in and he coaches these women. And if they want to do a family session, they can.
Counseling.
We take care of our mental health.
Yes.
A lot of people want to take care of feed me. A lot of people want to say, I need money. A lot of people say, well, let me get a spiritual guidance. But sometimes it's just our mental health that we need to pay attention to.
Can we pause and talk about mental health for a little bit? Because I don't know if you know it or not, but you're Black, Kelly. Did you know that? Did you know you were Black?
Sometimes I know it.
So in our community specifically, it's so heavy sometimes being able to just get things. Yeah,
it's a secret. That's how we were raised. You laughed at. What do you mean you're going to a counselor? What do you mean? Mm-hmm. And you don't always have to go to a counselor because something is wrong. Sometimes you can go to a counselor just to get just to talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a good cry. You just need whatever you may need, but you need to address what's going on mentally. One thing I've noticed that 1 in 5 women in the United States experience a mental health condition. Such
1 in 5?
1 in 5 women, especially depression. And women carry so many roles in the family that often we lose and we forget about ourselves. Okay? If you are in a relationship, you are a partner. So you are pouring into that person you're with, whether it's male or female. Mm-hmm. If you are a parent, then you are mommy and you're pouring into that relationship. If you work, you're a colleague and you're pouring into that relationship. So you're doing all this pouring, and then when you get to your glass, it's empty. Who's pouring into you?
Who's pouring into you?
And that's why I think it's important that we really look at mental health. A lot of times, many women get by themselves and they have to be strong. You hear women say it all the time. Oh, I'm strong. I'm independent. I'm this. We are the weaker vessel, whether we want to believe it or not. We weren't created. I don't believe we were created to carry that burden.
To carry which burden?
The burden of just the troubles of life, of the world.
You think that women have like a special gift of being like nurturing, and
we are natural nurturers. And let me say this: when you look at minority women, we have to be careful, because if I am upset, I can't be upset like Karen upset.
Right.
I have to be mindful of my tone. I have to be mindful of my position, how I'm standing.
Your hands, where your hands
are. I talk with my hands, so I'm like, okay, let me do this, and that can become taxing, especially in the work field.
Say that.
That I have to be mindful of me. I really can't be me, because if I'm too loud, then I'm perceived as aggressive. Or if I'm upset, then I'm perceived as being too emotional.
How have you worked with that, Dr. Kelly? I know that you are, when we were on that campus in Cleveland, Tennessee, and then from your post online.
They hated to see me coming. Go ahead.
Say that one more time.
They hated to see me coming. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, you were on the rampage, and it was like, look out, everybody! Here comes the truth. And I loved it about you. Always have, always will. Where do you feel Black women are moving in 2020 now today with the way that they are perceived? You were speaking to like the fact that you feel like it's a bit of a, well, what I heard in the spirit was that it could be a prison to have to always be monitoring your tone and your body movements, both at work, at the grocery store, and beyond. I mean, where do you see this going for Black women?
Well, let me say, I do believe that Black women are the least protected.
Oh, 100%.
We have to work, and that's not to negate Black men. They have their own set of issues they have to deal with in this society.
I don't feel negated by you saying that Black women.
But as a Black woman, I know when I walk into the room, I have to be twice as intelligent, but softer than the weakest person in the room.
Kelly, please, Kelly, why do you air me out this way? Bang, 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 bang. Now I got to pull over again. Thanks everybody for watching on Facebook. We've had up to like 20 people in here with us at the same time. Kelly, do you see these comments? Let's jump on the comments real quick, because and then we're gonna come back to you talking about having to be softer than the weakest person in the room. Okay, so Kim was going in. Phil said, this has been happening for years. Someone always going for the bad girl, boy, trying to fix them. It looks like, Sarah, a lady that I served in Cracker Barrel once, is in the comments. I'll email you later. I promise you I will. She wrote a novel to me about how she was on the way to Arkansas. Sarah, I love you. I do remember you. You were sitting right at the table, right behind the cash stand. Y'all know how Cracker Barrels are. You got the whole cash stand when you pay before you leave. So she was right by the door, and we really connected that day about books. So yeah, I see you. I will email you. Let's Zoom sometime and just complete it, because it's been like, that's another like 15-year connection, Sarah, right there, from my Cleveland, Tennessee Cracker Barrel days. Tara has a lot of resonance with you talking about being a compliment to your partner. She says that is it. Kim says, God already made me complete. Come on. She's co-signing from earlier. Tara says, bless you, Dr. Johnson, for the podcast listeners. Lamont Watson says, Black people will see a doctor for a broken bone,
but not a broken mind. That is true.
My Lord. Okay, so back to you needing to be softer than the dummy. Mm-hmm. I probably shouldn't use that language, but like, as a Black woman,
least intelligent.
You said what? You said what?
The least intelligent person.
Exactly. The least intelligent is what. See, so Dr. Kelly took the trainings, and she knows that you cannot call a child a dummy, and you certainly cannot call your boss a dummy, even though they. But the least intelligent person in the room. Thank you. Such a teacher. What, like, how do you navigate that while still being your excellent self, especially with you having I find it still shocking, and you don't have to get into this if you don't want to. You're a PhD still in the class. So what is that like, working for people in administration who don't have the knowledge that?
Well, let me say this. I've had opportunities to teach at private institutions, and I have turned them down. Mm-hmm. I need people who look like me, that are younger, to see someone doing well. Besides, and there's nothing wrong with entertainment. I love music. There's nothing wrong with sports. I need them to see. Because I've had parents ask me, why are you still here and you can be somewhere else?
Yeah,
it's not about me. I remember finishing my last chapter of my dissertation, and I was on my last leg.
Tara's boyfriend says, congratulations.
Thank you. It is not for the weak.
What was your dissertation in, Dr. Kelly?
I was studying teacher differentiation, and I also talked about cultural appropriation in the classroom.
Cultural appropriation in the classroom.
So when I picked my topic, it was frowned upon by my committee because the majority of my committee did not look like me. But I was determined to keep pushing and to keep going.
I'm so proud of you. Keep telling your story, but I just have to stop for a second and just tell God thank you, because I did not know your dissertation was circling around or adjacent to cultural appropriation.
And actually, I focus on the Black males and how they are treated in the school system from 3rd grade until 12th grade.
I'm gonna cry because we know this is true. I was just talking we had an episode in a different podcast. Shout out to the Taking Up Space podcast. We were talking about how, if you had a white teacher, there could have been a thought that they had about your Black body, like subconsciously, that was like played out on you in the classroom. What if you were a Black kid that had like only white educators and they only thought that you could go but this high?
I'm glad you said that, because I started in a majority Black school in middle school because I participated in a little tussle. We're going to call it a tussle.
I'm going to change this track too, because it's like being in a club. Keep talking.
We called it a little tussle. Mm-hmm. My parents decided to pull me, and that's when I began my private school journey. So I will say this. My private school journey trained me in maneuvering in a world and a society that was not built for me.
I didn't know you were a private school kid. Could you back up? See, this is stuff you don't talk about over in the residence hall on Lee University campus. I didn't know, because let me tell you something, y'all. And Kelly knows how we talk. When I met Kelly was the loudest thing on campus. She was second to she was neck and neck with Kim Dacus Wilson, who y'all know from previous podcast episodes, who was cursing people out across from Chapel. But Kelly, when Kelly was on the Ped Mall, you knew Kelly was on the Ped Mall, and there was so much love in it. But this was not child's play. So like, I'm trying to figure out like how keep going.
I understand. So I actually started attending private schools in middle school.
I didn't know
and
that.
I actually attended private schools for middle school, until I completed my dissertation. And it was on purpose, because I needed to learn how to maneuver in a society that was never built for me.
Jesus.
So I was able to form relationships and receive training on how to, once again.
Sorry, Phil says she was louder than Kim. Phil.
Thank you, Phil.
Hush puppies. I love you, hush puppies. Keep going.
So once again, during that time, I was trained to be, in order to be twice as smart as the person in the room.
The code switch.
But the softest than the weakest person in the room. And that's a lot of training. Because let me say this. If they think you're too smart, then they're gonna get rid of you.
I'm gonna brush my beard. Keep talking. I'm brushing my beard. Keep talking. Just break it down for the people, because I
had to learn how to be smart enough, but not perceive myself to be too intelligent.
That's the gymnastics, Dr. Kelly.
Then I become a threat.
That's the gymnastics.
So now you have this loud, intelligent, Black. I'm going to use all the trigger words. Aggressive. Uncontrollable. These are all trigger words that you're hearing all of your life.
About Black women.
They sit down, they converse with you, or you are on a project with them, they look at you like, And this is every single day. And I'm 38, and it's still happening.
Did it change when you got the doctorate?
No. I became a bigger threat.
A bigger threat. Yeah. Because you did the work. Because you actually just, and for you, because the way your mind works and the way that you are drawn to education and learning, like, you said it was difficult and there were challenges with it, but like you like, it wasn't the worst thing that ever happened to you in life.
No, it wasn't. And I think, and I'm gonna go back to Resounding Minds. I think that's one of the reasons why, because I want to show women you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You just have to learn how to operate in a society that was never built for you.
Give us some.
And I'm not talking about racially.
Right.
That's another layer.
Come on, layers.
As women, this society was never built for us. So we're still, as a woman, I am learning how to maneuver in a world that was built for men.
What are some of the things that you've discovered? If you were to like rattle off like 2 or 3 things that like what are some of the hacks that if there were a young Black woman or woman of any color, if there were a young purple woman or a pink woman or green woman that was listening right now that wanted to like feel a little solidarity with you, what would be some like 2 or 3 tips that you would like hand to them, just sister to sister?
I would say find your niche and grow in that niche.
When you say niche, teach the children if they've never heard of what I
would say find your talent and grow in that talent. Now, let me say this. Never allow anyone to minimize what you have going on, okay? Because you have to crawl before you can walk.
This is very good. Pay attention, people.
So once you find your thing, do it to your best ability. I will also say, learn how to partner with people. My father used to always tell me, in order to do well in life, you have to have 2 things: resources and relationships. Even if you look at the commandments, if you look at the commandments, the 10 commandments, none of those commandments are based on relationships. So you have to learn how to build healthy relationships around yourself. And I always tell women that change your circle. Even if your circle becomes a triangle, change it.
Yes.
Because once you build that healthiness, see, a lot of times women, we tend to think we're in competition with each other. And it's not it. Let me say this. When I started Resounding Minds in Another Chapter agency, I intentionally went after women who were doing well in different avenues.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was time for me to create my website, I looked for a woman. When it's time for me to do this, it was intentional.
I love this.
It was intentional to say, hey, you're really good in this. Come work with me. Not work for me. Come work with me.
Come work with me.
So, and a lot of people may say, well, you have this, this, and this. You're right, I do. But I don't have what you have. Come on. Let me pour into you, and I need you to pour into me.
I love it. Okay, so that's Resounding Minds. Pouring into children and mothers physically, financially, spiritually, and mentally. Check them out, resoundingmindsministries.org. I'm going to jump over you because I want to land on you last. I want to talk about Another Chapter agency really quickly. You said the purpose of Another Chapter agency is to create, promote, and advocate a lifestyle for individuals who desire to move from average to excellence. What's that all about?
Once again, I've always been a background worker. Another Chapter agency provides 4 different services.
Okay.
Grant writing services.
Oh.
Career building services.
Okay.
Business building services, and private tutoring. What many people don't know about me is that I've been grant writing for since I've been 18. So I've been doing this since.
We gonna have a meeting next week, okay? Don't
I always work background, and one day I had a friend talk to me, and he was like, "Why are you in the background?
Why are you in the background?
Move forward. Push this out. Share what you have." Because I was always the type of person that say, well, if they don't, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Sometimes people don't know how to ask, and they need that push. Now, Another Chapter agency is actually my baby, my business. Whereas Resounding Minds is still my baby, but it's nonprofit.
Yeah, I get that.
So I wanted to give back. And then I wanted to take my niches and put them all together.
Yes.
And that's where I came from, Another Chapter agency.
Okay, so when someone comes to Another Chapter agency and they meet Dr. Kelly there, and this is something that I assume people can engage you through your .com, like wherever they are. They don't need to necessarily be in your state, in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. When someone comes to you, what are you digging them out of?
People have a lot of. Let me say this. Many of my clients are coming to me recently for grant writing services.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And business plans and changing the structure of their business or fixing the structure of their business. Let me say this. A lot of times when you go to people and you pay them for their services, they're doing it for you. Mm-hmm. When you come to Another Chapter agency, not only am I providing a service, but I'm educating you as well. So it's just not me working for you. You're working with me, and I'm going to teach you how to do this so you will never have to be bamboozled again.
Come on, bamboozle. I've heard that word since 1942.
And so what people don't know, there are so many grants out here, and people are just giving away.
I'm telling you, the calendar invite is coming, Dr. Kelly. It really is. It really is.
You do have to book a consultation. I do have a consultation fee.
Love it.
And that's because My time is precious.
I'm not paying for it. Love City Arts.
So I feel like if you're really serious about what you're doing, then you're going to put in time and effort.
Of course. I love it. Okay, so people are coming for their nonprofit needs and things like that, and also.
And I do also work with some for-profit businesses. The nonprofit sector is actually, I tell people, you have more options, but there are some for-profit grants out there for business
opportunities.
So let me say that.
I love this. Okay, so that's anotherchapteragency.com. Check that out as well. And then to round out our hour of spent together, I see a comment down here. Philip Hush Puppies, my frat brother, says, know your worth. I so needed to hear this today. It's so hard for Black educators out there today. Confirmation for the foolishness I had to endure. Oh yeah, because Phil is also in the classroom. Yeah. Mark Hill Moore says, good to see you, Dr. Kelly. Jesus Christ bless. Bless. Wonderful. Okay. So speaking of Dr. Kelly, Jesus Christ bless, Kelly wears so many hats: mother, educator, and of course founder of Resounding Ministries, and also another chapter agency. I'm not going to put you in the hot seat of thinking. I'm not going to put you in the hot seat of asking what is your favorite hat. But what is the one that's like front and center these days? Is it the mother piece? Is that the all-consuming fire?
It will. Every move I make for my children.
Mm-hmm. And you're single mother, right?
Single mother. Motherhood for me, becoming a mother was different. My story was different. I remember when I tried to have children, the doctors told me I had a 6% chance.
6% chance.
I have endometriosis, and I have fibroids on my ovaries, and so
explain to my dude ass. Is that when they're flipped, or is that when the fallopian tubes are like obstructed, or none of it?
No, let me say this without getting too personal. It makes it hard for the egg to meet the sperm because of
endometriosis happens to like a segment of the population. What is it technically though? Is it a blockage, or is it like
it's a blockage?
It's a blockage. Okay, cool. And so you were 6% for that reason.
So I decided to stop trying, and I was fostering my oldest son when he was 7 months, and we were able to adopt him.
I remember this. This was the fanfare on the internet. This beautiful baby was coming home with Kelly. This is pre-Dr. Kelly.
And he is pre-Dr. Kelly. And he's 8 now. Now, what people may not know, or they may know if they follow my journey, is that before my youngest, I actually fostered my oldest little brother for 2 years.
Oh, wait, Kelly. Like, the algorithm didn't show me that. I only know about the oldest son and then the baby.
Yes. No, I fostered my oldest son brother for 2 years. And of course, he ended up reuniting with the mother, whom I have a healthy relationship with, the bio mom, who's the same bio mom as my oldest son, and the bio dad. Wait.
Stop. Because I think that this is what people are not seeing on the news. People are not seeing Black people in like wonderful relationships with each other. Even in the strangest, not strangest, that's not the word I want to use, but in the non-traditional circumstances, people have this narrative that it's the Maury show. You know, that's what they think of us though. And so I wanted to stop here to say, like you said, you fostered your child's brother, and then reunite. You know,
that was a tough, extremely tough. Actually, I had all three boys at one point in time. So I was fostering
The second son.
second son,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was able to conceive my last son.
And let me tell you something. You want to talk about the fireworks going on? Well, my brain, I remember there were new synapses in my brain. If you look at the CAT scan, when I looked at it, I was like, because you joke around a lot too. You love to
A lot
like,
of jokes.
you love to.
If you follow me on social media, I'm a whole different person.
you love to laugh and play jokes. So when I saw like baby on the way, so I knew that husband was gone. I knew that husband was out the picture, and I blessed that because I have a husband that's gone, and it's wonderful to not be with people who you don't want to be with. You should not be with anybody that you don't want to be with. So I knew I was gone, and then you've always kept, because you're beautiful, you've always kept love in your life. You know, there's always some dude or some woman's husband.
I don't know, the last one was love. I think it was lust.
Well, child, look, we got the receipts. There's a whole breathing receipt a wall away. So you tell me, child. But you were in it.
I had a snack. Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. What I love about that, the shade tea and everything of the universe, like, was that I watched it all on social, right? Loving you, like, and not a voyeur. We comment and chat, and we like, she wouldn't be here if we didn't have positive, like, loving, consistent relationship. But I watched ex-husband fade out, and then I watch you start to get this new joyful, lusty, feeling yourself kind of.
Yeah, I think I found.
It was so good to see it though. I was like, oh, she got free. And like, I know the freedom of being a divorcee. And like, you know, you're like, oh my God, Stella's getting her groove back. And then all of a sudden that baby hit. And I was like, wait, that's got to be a joke the way she jokes. And I was like, oh, Stella really got a groove back. Like she got, and then also.
She slowed down, but she is back.
And then you gave and then the juxtaposition of the miracle of it all, of having to try with certain energies, you know, and then to be open to a different energy, and the universe kind of throwing in a little magical surprise of like a fresh, you know.
That was a surprise.
Yeah. And then but then it's your story. It's like your story.
And I wouldn't change it for anything.
Of course not. And let me tell you something. On social media, those kids are loved and adored and valued. They have a brilliant mother who's taking all of her education and insights and pouring it into them and pouring it into the community at large. So, I mean, that's amazing. As an educator, what is your greatest gift? I'll let you get something off your chest, and then also like say something beautiful. So what's your biggest pet peeve about being an educator in 2020?
Oh, from which perspective? From students, parents, or colleagues?
See, well, now you just gave me like a question. Like if this was an outline, Dr. Kelly, now you got 1A, 1B, and 1C to fill in.
Let me say this. My biggest pet peeve from students.
From students, okay.
Okay, from students.
1A.
Are students who are lazy. Lazy
students.
Yes.
Mean students that you know have the sauce but refuse.
They have it, and they are ungrateful for opportunities that they have. Let me say that. Okay, let me say that. Parents.
Wait. You can't get off that. Okay, so if I don't want to use a stereotypically black name. So if Shauna, which could be a black kid or a white kid, Shauna. Tell me about Shauna in that situation. What does that look like? If Shauna.
In that situation, Shauna has the intellect and the capability to perform well. Now, when people hear the words perform well, they're thinking A status, and that is not necessarily true. Your best may be a C. However, you're giving your best. But Shauna believes because, and this coincides with the parents, because everything is given to Shauna, then I should give her a present, and voila, she's out the door to the next
Because
grade.
she got the sneakers given, then you
Yeah.
should also be
And
given.
I always tell people, God told me to give you grace, not grease. And you're not sliding up out of here.
You should wait, say that one more time, please.
Because
God said, give you grace, not grease.
And you're not sliding out of here.
Okay, tell me. I love you so much. What one thing I will say about Kelly is that the energy, as I knew it would be. I want to thank you. I'm going to pause right here, just have a little spout in my soul of gratitude. One thing that you cannot fake this. You're either cool with people and people are picking from your apple tree, or not.
You know what? I'm glad you said this. I want to say this before we go. People really peg me the wrong way. And
They really do.
Listen.
It's really chill. It's really,
I am a loving person.
I'm going to put it on.
I'm not lukewarm. So let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
Either we gelling.
Yeah.
Or we're not. However, I know how to coexist with you, whether we're gelling or not. Of course.
But
if we are not gelling, you're going to know.
You're going to know. And the thing about it is that because we're not trees, imagine being planted by a tree in the forest that you can't stand. Imagine being a tree for a moment.
I can't fake Kiki with you.
We're not going to fake Kiki. Either way, and I knew that when I called you up, we would be right back where we were. And you were so consistent. Okay, so tell me about the parents. What about the parents? How do these parents act?
These generation of parents that we're dealing with are more concerned with being friends instead of actually being a parent.
Friends with their kids. Friends with their kids. Or friends with you.
Friends with their children.
Okay, definitely not friends with you.
It takes a village to raise a child has been thrown out the window. Now it's do not say anything to my baby. You can't tell my baby anything.
The parents are telling you as a teacher, don't say anything to my child.
Yeah, so you cannot correct, and I'm not saying this is every parent, but majority of parents. And this if you talk to any teacher, this is across, and you know what? Although I hate that the pandemic occurred, I really do, because people have lost lives. People have declined. However, it gave a wake-up call to sweet little Billy, who you thought was just everything. And now you at home stuck with Billy, and Billy is getting on your nerves.
Billy the Billy Goat, tearing up your house.
Tearing up everything. The school buildings can't open quick enough. I have never seen in the history of my 38 years of living a parent saying, when will school open?
When will school open? Right. A deeper appreciation, because they now recognize that you are caretaking, raising their kid.
Well, I guarantee if I create a wish list for next year, you're going to give me everything on that list, because you're going to send Billy to the school building because you're not having it. And that's fine. I love Billy. Come on, Billy.
Billy.
We're fine together,
You love it.
But you know how Billy is. Okay, so now that we know that, when I call you, stop it.
Are teachers still calling parents from the school?
We have to.
That's I love to date teachers. So if there are any teachers out there, get to shoot your shot in 2020. So if there are any teachers out there about 6 foot tall, dark,
you're putting out an ad in the middle of the podcast.
If you like 6 foot 6'2", dark, put together, but you don't got to be perfect, but you're educator. You use big words like juxtaposition, like Dr. Kelly. Slide on in the DMs. I love a good educator.
Okay.
Look, ask for rain in the time of rain, Dr. Kelly. What was that third category you were talking about? You said because the students, the parents, and then
colleagues.
And then the colleagues.
And I'm gonna tread lightly.
Well, okay, let's not talk.
Always.
No, let's not talk at all about your current colleagues.
Oh, no. I'm talking about in general.
In general.
And this include myself.
Okay.
If we all can just respect one another and appreciate differences instead of minimizing differences, I think people can gel a little better in the world.
Okay. So
that's in general. That's not education at all. I used to always tell people, your colleagues are not your friends.
Right. I had to learn that the hard way, Kelly. I had to learn it the hard way. What my brother-in-law, Mike.
Kim is being messy right now in the comments.
Well, I'm coming for Kim right now. I'm coming for Kim because I was just about to talk about Mike. Her baby daddy. And she get mad about it because she's like, I'm a married woman. I's married now. You know, she's so high and mighty on her married shit. And I just want to step in to put behind the house in the shed.
But that contract is sealed. That's how come hers is going well.
Of course. So much love. But Mike says the same thing. Mike says, don't get into all the baby conversations with people at your job. You should just go in there, do great work. Like Mike does impeccable work at his job. Shout out to Mike. He's doing 12-hour shifts and you know what that all entails, are people that do that. And but he said, go in there and just say, my name is Mike. And that's it. And I think that going forward, I mean, people know me in Love City, and clearly here we are. And this is part of another chapter is your baby. So Love City, so people know me here. But I think that if I ever have to actually, when I was singing, I won't. Anyway, in certain spaces, people think that I'm shy because in those spaces, I'm like,
and you are not shy.
The glory to God hands.
Now let me say this. I do plan on exiting education really soon.
Okay, so let's do this. I did an episode recently about the Black imagination. Can you tell me what you imagine for yourself that's safe to share? How do you see Dr. Kelly in the future?
I see myself continuing Resounding Minds and another chapter agency. And I also see myself exiting education and starting a safe space for educators.
Okay.
To come and grow as an educator. I would love to actually do a podcast.
You just let me know when you're ready to go, because I'll give you the whole playbook. All the tools. We'll produce your little bumper.
You think people will listen to me?
I think that we've had consistently between 11 and 20 viewers off and on for the whole hour. No one's ever paid attention this much and been this engaged. So I mean, let us know, viewers on Facebook and Twitter and Periscope. Let us know right now if you would love to hear Dr. Kelly Johnson riff about education.
We would talk about more than education. We would have different types of nights now.
I think that you've dropped no less than about 10 sermons in here. I want to hear what you have to say in the world personally. David Kwong Pham, there you go. Stranger says all ears. Let us know in the comments if you would love to hear Dr. Kelly Johnson say more things in the world. I think it's a great idea. Any support that Love City Arts can throw, if you need bumper tracks and little play-ins and stuff, I got you on that, because when you prosper, I prosper. You know what I mean? I wish we could get there. So yeah, I mean, so the comments say, you do like teachers, Andre. You tried it, Kim. You really did. Kim says, go to work and go home. Kim says, sealed, invest in flood insurance, always protect the business. Listen. Okay, Kelly, we're going to land the plane now. You know, I used to be a flight attendant in a former life many moons ago. Lamont Watson says, yes, please bring her back. Okay, so I'm gonna vote for both. I want you back to come back soon on Love City Live. Lamont has very heavy hand here in decision making power. He was here last week as well. A stranger to me that I do not know, but a person that I'm loving having in Love City. And so if he says you can come back because he's the boss now,
thank you.
I love it. And then you
I
really
didn't
should
give too much away.
No, have you been thinking? Have you been thinking about like the name of your podcast, or is it still kind of in development?
It's still kind of in development because I want to talk about education, love life, people. You know, you're a divorced person. As a divorced person, people believe that because people always ask me all the time, "Are you dating? Are you with someone? You play so much."
I think that you have and I don't say this lightly because everybody has a unique voice. But one thing I love about your voice, Dr. Kelly, is that you have a unique voice like everyone else, but I actually pay attention to what you're saying. Like when I go back into these comments, when we go back into the comment section later tonight, you're going to see people who are strangers to you and some people actually quoting back to you the love nuggets and the love bombs you dropped tonight. So I just want to just pause for a second and put on my emergency lights and say, you are brilliant. And you are so educated, and I know beyond your education, because sometimes that's a white people metric, right? But your education matches your heart, and your heart matches your spirit. And so when all of those things kind of align, it makes for someone who can really change. I know I've seen it online. I see your students come back into your comment section and talk about the difference you made in their lives.
Oh, thank you.
I see that with receipts. This ain't something made up. This ain't hyperbole. It's I see them come back and tell you about how you were right about what you told them years ago when you were training not only their minds but also their hearts. And so I just want, as we land this plane, I just wanted to, I think the music stopped and everything, but I just want to bless Resounding Mind Ministries with our community. There are 11 viewers that are still watching, and I want to thank
you. And we are taking donations for Resounding Minds.
Okay, so where can people drop the money for Resounding Minds?
If they would like to donate to Resounding Minds, they can cash out money sign Resounding Minds, or they can Venmo at Kelly-Johnson 1211. Because it is a nonprofit, we're based strictly on donations. And I can say right now that the requests for food assistance, rental, utility, it's increasing. It is increasing.
It's increasing because of COVID, you think?
COVID, and we're going into, the winter days.
Yeah.
They're homeless, or they're because of COVID and the effect that it took on the economy. People they're suffering, and so if anybody would love to or just spread the word, we are ever so grateful.
Drop
on their Resounding Minds. I'm the grant writer. I'm the director. So there are many hats, but I do have amazing people. I have one amazing person who is supporting me and just
that's great.
Come into my space and just has taken off with Resounding Minds. And there is no way that I could have done half of the things without this person.
I love it. Oh gosh. All right. I bless Resounding Minds Ministry and Another Chapter Agency. I know that everyone who's watched tonight will also do that. I'm going to make sure that your Cash App and all that information gets into the show notes so that people can just send you the ducats. And I'm gonna scrounge up a couple of my pennies too and just put, I got a solid crispy $20. You good for at least whatever that dead president is on that. And I know that $20 can get a good plate of food, or a bunch. Yeah, cornbread.
You'll be surprised.
So I'm gonna put 20 on it. Like, we're not making big boss moves yet. We're like 20,000 to. We're not there yet. We're just at.
Not a code out yet. We can't let it go.
I was furloughed, bitch. Furloughed. $20 is what you get. Yeah, and it will be blessed because in your hands it's gonna multiply. For all these other people. All right, I want to invite everyone to take a cleansing breath together. I don't know where my it's like my the track did die. So bring a little bit of music in.
And it did fly by.
It did. I told you we're just going to love on each other and just be together. It's like old times and new times, and it's just been fun for the last hour showcasing one of my cool ass friends, Dr. Kelly
Sorry,
Johnson.
guys, about pause. I had to be mama.
You said what?
I said sorry about the pause. I had to be mama.
No, we've had dogs on our lives. We've had husbands on the lives. We've had kids. I kind of sirens and everything. I think that life, sirens in DC. Yeah, like on the Taking Out Stace podcast, there's sirens all the time. Stacia's in DC and the block is hot. So. I knew that kid was getting his life got together, and I rejoiced for it because they say train up a child, right? Train up a child. And if your ass needs to be in bed, take a breath with me, Kelly. I am so grateful for your presence and the presence of those who have been watching tonight and also those who are listening to the podcast. It's really cool for me to meet someone in the early 2000s and watch them go through the twists and turns of life. But with every twist and turn, there is a saying from our Black folk church tradition that says every round goes higher and higher.
Yeah.
And it has been such a blessing to me, Kelly, to watch you go higher and higher. Love, career, parenthood. My Black sister friend, I got to affirm you in front of everybody.
Thank you.
And every round of your life applied with grace, but every round in your life goes higher and higher and higher. And as an outsider looking in, and I don't even know the 10,000 things going on in your situation, but for the things that we see and for the fruit you bring, it's beautiful, Kelly.
Thank you.
And I want you to know that it's not lost on me as your true brother and internet friend, an internet co-signer, that every loaf of cornbread and every collard in the greens that you are handing out into your community is blessed. And I know that it's going to come back to you exponentially because your heart's in the right place and you're a good person, my friend.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I see you. I really do see. I see you and I see it for you. And please keep Love City in the loop. Like anytime you're having an event or a drive or you need support, let us know and we'll repost every time. We're a family. I don't believe that we met in them dusty halls of Lee University to still not be a blessing to each other. You didn't hear me squawk in con center on every side of the key on a Thursday night.
Sneaking in the back door of chapel. That was me. That was
just
Kim
to get the beat.
Too.
See, you never heard. Kim was sneaking too. Kim.
I
said, Kim, did you ever hear
my car? I'm not coming in.
We know who Kim is. Like, I was like, Kim, did you ever hear me sing on campus? She won't in chapel. She was outside giving people the business, and now, she's in the comments. So she's in the room. She said, Dustin. Listen, we have each other. What I love about it is that what's real recognize real, and what is real cannot be destroyed. And so the people in my life from Lee that are the real ones are still on fucking Zooms. And we couldn't even say it that way when we were there.
No, we couldn't.
We could not. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Thank you for watching The Good Report.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And thank you for having me.
Ciao. I love you. I honestly love you.
Kim said she went to chapel. I had her cards a few times. So.
She had to
That's
eat
a whole
though.
nother
Listen. She said, I had to eat though. Oh, no, you're right. No. Y'all right though.
Can I say
Go. No, of course you can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want.
I remember Kim and I took many classes together, and she came in late to Estes. Was it Dr. Estes?
Dr. Estes.
With the what was not the student union? What was the diner hall called?
Oh.
She came in with the plate and the cup. And sat down
in the class
late, and she had the audacity, the Black Cassidy, to come and sit next to me
in the class.
In my glory, and I'm trying to be on the straight and narrow.
Like, she brought the whole plate of food into the class.
They catch me up.
And then in the comments, I had to eat though. Let me tell you something. I want y'all to remember the people that you're laughing with in your life right now are the real ones, because we laughed this way in the early 2000s and we're still laughing this way in 2020. And so just keep the people that you're laughing with, especially the people that are on their grind and committed to like loving people and doing like top tier. I believe that all Black people are Black excellence, but some of us are trying harder than others, you know? So just keep those people close. And if you're laughing, you'll see, and watch this plug happen, Resounding Minds Ministries, for the purpose of advocating for children physically, financially, spiritually, mentally. Check them out at resoundingmindsministries.org. If you want to check out another chapter agency whose purpose is to create, promote, and advocate a lifestyle for individuals who desire to move from average to excellence, what we were just talking about, like if you want to move from average to excellence, Dr. Kelly can take you there. Another chapter agency.com. And if you want to follow the magic that is this beautiful Black woman with that fabulous red lip, Dr. Kelly Johnson, always giving us the business, mother, educator, and founder of Resounding Minds. Check her out at Dr.Johnson07. And that'll be in the show notes booth on the podcast. I love you.
Love you too.
Okay, you enjoy. Well, I always give the guests the last piece of chicken, you know, and you'll know that, like ceremonially, you know, the boss always gets the biggest piece and the last piece of chicken. Mm-hmm. What is your word for the people? If you had to give them something from your heart, I'm gonna give you a moment. I'm setting it up. If you had to bless the people with something to carry them through till our next good report, Love City Live, what would you want them to carry from your heart to theirs?
Learn how to love yourself properly so you can provide healthy loving for other people in your different facets of life. I think I changed as an individual, and I found myself when I began loving myself properly. So now that I love me, I'm a mess. But somebody like this mess. Somebody
getting better. Smear it on them, child. Smear it upon them. Have a good night, everybody. Hang out, Kelly. We're going to say good night off in the green room. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Dr. Kelly Johnson.